City of Marine City Commission meeting minute is called to order on Thursday, March 17th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Can we please have a moment of silence to send our positive thoughts and prayers to those in our community that need our support? Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bryson.
Here.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Here.
Commissioner Callahan.
Here.
Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Kreidler is not here. Commissioner Ross.
Here.
Mayor Verkaman.
Here.
City Manager Tapman. Here.
So we need a motion to excuse.
Well, Commissioner
Commissioner.
Kreidler's in Texas right now, so
Okay.
he is,
We need a motion to excuse him, or he's not calling in, right?
that I'm aware, no.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to excuse Commissioner Kreidler.
Support.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support?
We have a motion to support. Any discussion?
We're going to need to, I forgot to add it to your help sheet, we're going to need to add that closed session item.
All right, so that's going to be, where am I putting that?
Look on the back page for the
15.
language you need.
It would be a new, it would be,
Number 15?
no, it would be new number 14.
Oh, under new bit, hang on.
Oh, sorry, right.
Yeah.
Under closed
14 is
session. The language is in there,
14,
yeah.
New number 14.
is adjournment.
new number 14.
Will amend my motion to add the closed session as the new number 14.
What's it for? We have to specify.
It's under 15.268H to review a document that is not otherwise disclosable under FOIA relating to the prior investigation on the treasurer issues.
So any discussion on the new revised agenda? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on, public comment. Anyone is welcome to address the city commission. Please state your name, limit your comments to 5 minutes. The commission will not respond, but we will follow up as necessary.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Joe Moran, 710 Pleasant Street. As this is the last meeting of the month of March, I want to take this opportunity to applaud and to bid farewell to our city clerk, who's leaving at the end of the month, and to thank her for her diligence, her hard work, and for giving a shit for the city of Marine City. I have never loved a city clerk like I have loved Jim.
That was very nice.
Let it cheer up.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Philip Alexak. In regards to an article that was published in Blue Water Healthy Living magazine about Mayor Verkaman's charter violations due to the police chief email, there's a couple things I'd like to point out. One, the article confirms that the commission handled the issue in closed session. There's two things that show that. Here's an excerpt from our city manager, Holly Tatman, that she said to the press. She said the matter was addressed and handled in a closed session at the commission last month. I submitted a FOIA request as well about any public handling of the issue, and I got back request denied due to MCL 15.268. If you look the MCL up, that refers to closed session. So that's how they handle the charter violations of the mayor. It was all done in closed session, nothing public. Number two, when I speak at public comment, I may be firm and call out what I see as wrong, but I'm never insulting. Regardless, it is inappropriate for a city manager to make accusations at a resident in the way Holly Tapman did in this article. Here is the direct quote from Holly Tapman about me that was published in the article. It's to the point where he's abusing the time of the city's staff, and now it's just his opinion. He's got a vendetta against the mayor, and we have done everything we can to move on from this, but he just won't stop, Tapman said. A few notes from number 2. I do not have a vendetta against the mayor. What I do not like is seeing a mayor bring charges for charter violations against a commissioner. It could have been any of you for any charter violation if someone suspected it or whatever that she could have brought charges against. Then the same mayor turns around, violates the charter, and it's suddenly different how it's handled. This is why I've asked in emails to the commission for Jacob Bryson and John Kreidler to do a censure of the mayor at a minimum. They both voted yes at the Hendrick hearing because they felt Commissioner Hendrick had violated the charter. Yet, with documented proof presented, they have not filed any motions to censure the mayor to my knowledge. No one can say to this commission that it wasn't a non-issue either because you went into closed session to handle it. I think it was done in January because this was on the January meeting agenda. To consider the dismissal, suspension, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against, or to consider a periodic personnel evaluation of a public officer or employee. Once again, MCL 15.268. On the accusations of abusing city staff time, Holly Tapman, I do not feel that submitting FOIA requests, looking for documentation, and bringing issues forward is an abuse of city staff time. I call it trying to keep my local government honest and open, as the right to do so should be protected without people being made to look bad in doing so or discouraged from doing so. I have pushed the issue because of how the issue of the mayor's charter violations was handled. It was wrong, and it was wrong that the mayor has not been at least censured. Also, Holly Tapman, my so-called opinion is heavily backed with documentation and example that was set from this commission's past actions, hence the Commissioner Hendrick hearing due to charges brought against Commissioner Hendrick by our mayor. Holly Tapman, you have censured me by denying my request twice to get on the agenda to get the commission to openly discuss the charter violations of the mayor. You also deny me from getting on the agenda in order to have the commission openly discuss when the mayor wanted a disclaimer on the FOIA request form that would state the requester could not share the information they received with anyone. At this point, I'm asking the city commission to take action not only against the mayor via censure, but Holly Tapman as well. Her comments to the media were inappropriate of a city manager. You did not go after residents. Keep in mind, I may call things out, but I don't stoop as low as you did with your comments. And my information is always backed by documentation and fact. If I don't have that, then I inquire or bring up an issue in a way to give a chance for response. Hence the multiple emails I sent out. They were rebuttals to things that the commission and city manager were saying back to me, along with the city attorney too. I was arguing the point as to why they should take action against the mayor. I would like a public and a written apology from Holly Tapman for her comments about me to the press, because once again, it is inappropriate for a city manager to attack a resident in the media. It's just inappropriate. It's uncalled for. As residents, you can submit FOIA requests, email members of the public body, express concerns, and request them to be on the agenda. It is not an abuse of city staff time. If you still feel this way, Holly Tapman, then you're in the wrong line of work. I look forward to your response during the city manager's report and commission's response during commissioner privilege. Also, one is the Megan Pierce investigation, which was initiated on 9/27/21 and paid for by taxpayer dollars, going to be released. The community has a right to know what the outcome is. Did our city manager retaliate on a city employee? The public should know the outcome. In closing, just because you agreed to not take action against the mayor doesn't bind you to it. We're not dealing with a formal public decision at this point because you never decided it in public to censure, decided in public any decision not to do anything with the mayor's charter violations. Censure the mayor and make it official. Thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Well, it's happy St. Patrick's Day, Aaron Gobra, and Rosalie Squires at 211 Michigan. I'm up here today to really make an appeal to the commission, mayor and the commissioners. According to our zoning laws, Chapter 94, the problems I'm having with the dog next door to me would totally be eliminated but it doesn't say anywhere in that chapter who I complain to. One of the main things that dogs should not run out at large. They have to be on a 6-foot leash. Not only is that our law, but in the state of Michigan, that law is 100 years old. And another one is dog poop, to put it quite frankly, needs to be picked up. This is how much dog poop in bags that I've picked up in the last 2 weeks out of my neighbor's yard, only because it's less stressful for me to pick it up than to look at it. Besides, it's totally unsanitary and it's very unsafe. The third thing is dogs cannot excessively bark. This dog is really sweet. I like the dog. The dog's put in a bad situation, but I don't think it should be making my life miserable in the process. I don't think I have to look out in my living room window and see dog poop all the time. Sunday morning before I went to church, I picked up 5 piles. Yesterday, I picked up 4 piles. Today, I picked up 1 pile. I don't mind picking it up. I'm not complaining about picking it up. Hey, I adopted a Rhodesian Ridgeback that's like picking up after a small pony, so I guess I'm broken into that. But I shouldn't have to pick it up. It shouldn't be there. And these rules should be enforced. They just plain old should be enforced. So I'm just really making an appeal to the commission board that they figure out, well, I don't know who it is I appeal to. It does say somewhere you start by appealing to the commission board, so that's what I'm doing. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Micah Davlamek. I own Not Yoga down in downtown Marine City. I was born and raised here, and I've recently moved back in the last year from California. As you can imagine, I'm happy given gas prices. So, that being said, coming back here, it's nice to be back. I've seen a lot of improvements, and myself, I'd like to make a proposition that an additional improvement be made. And the idea was for a skate park, a splash pad, and a basketball court that doesn't have wavy cement, you know, complete with a good hoop and everything like that. And yeah, so I guess I'm just putting that forward. I didn't really prepare a speech, came right out of class, not out of bed. Use some sweatpants, buddy. So the only thing additional I have to that is a proposed location, which when I was little, about 11, 12 years old, for about 2 summers, we took over the street between the library and the Chinese shop, and people brought things from home, and unfortunately, nothing was done about, you know, raising funds for a further, you know, community park and everything. And what I've noticed is, after about 8 or 9 years old, you start, you know, riding on the park, you start destroying the park, you know, the parks around here, and that's not fair to my kids that are 3 and 5, but they will grow up. So a proposed corral, let's say, is a, you know, a skate park, a good community center, and they get a bad rap in different cities, but I would also like to take a step forward and be a role model in that community, because my kids will be coming up in this town, and that's what I value. So that's my idea, and I would like to take steps immediately toward making that happen. And one last little tidbit would be, there are temporary solutions. The city did put a gate on that street when we were using it, and so it prevented cars from going in there. We were able to, you know, not have to worry about traffic or anything, but there are weatherproof temporary things that can be put in place for scooters, rollerblades, the bikes, you name it, until a nice cement park can be put in place. Obviously, that is quite a bit of money. I'm not clueless to that, so that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Rudy Menchaca, 315 Westminster. Chris, I want to thank you for all your work.
Yes.
I know right now I'm on the other side of the fence, but nothing personal. I love you. I think you've been excellent for this city.
Thanks very much.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris? Thanks. I want to address what took place on the last meeting. I was just blown away. This mayor continues to be rogue, and this commission allows her to do that. I just watched her as this young man came up, she sighed. Well, I'm sighing too. And a lot of the people that I talked to, they're sighing just as bad. And the city manager smiling all inappropriately. Look, I don't want to be here either. I don't want to be here either. This mayor resolved this matter about talking to a department head without bringing it to the commission. Or you may have met in closed meeting. But that's not what she did. Because when she charged Lisa, she set precedent. And you know that, sir. You know that that's what she did. But you don't say nothing because you know why? On November the 1st, that first meeting, when it came to charge number 4, if you roll that meeting to about 145.5, you'll hear yourself make an admission. This one is mine. She really didn't have anything to do with this. You said that about charge number 4. Check it out. Don't believe me. Check it out. That's not your role. A few minutes ago, you started the meeting. That's not your role.
I did what?
You said it's time.
I always remind the mayor.
That's not, I said on this commission before, I'll never remember Yakim or anybody, any of the attorneys sit up here and say that.
I apologize, sir, it won't happen.
You always have something to say when you shouldn't be saying it.
Whatever.
When you should be saying it,
Repeated, he thought she couldn't hear me.
I repeated what the clerk said. I apologize.
okay,
That is-
when she did what she did last meeting,
I apologize.
and she took a vote,
I apologize.
she took a vote and brought it up during commissioner's privilege, you can't do that. That's an agenda item that should have been on the agenda. And then she turns to a subordinate, are we okay, city manager? Are we okay, Mr. Attorney? Are we okay, chief of police? What are you talking about? This is a matter that has to come before the full commission. This needs to come up. It's not going to go away because she set precedent. It was so important for her that she brought charges against Lisa Kendrick. Look, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. Lisa Kendrick and I, and Chris will tell you, we've never been in agreement, or rarely. And I'm not here for Lisa. I'm here for the people who are watching you. Sweep this thing under the carpet. Mr. Ross, the conscience of the commission, you voted to keep her on, but yet you let her do that. That was an agenda that item should have been on the agenda. She should be censured at best. I don't know about removing her because we got an election coming up, but at least that issue needs to come up publicly. I mean, you've got it in writing. I've got it, where she directs a department head to take action. And then on top of that, he's supposed to talk to me after I get up here, and then he'd be violating my First Amendment rights. Something's got to be done. And the people are watching you. Some of you are running for re-election. Don't sweep this under the rug. I'll keep coming back here until you bring that up on the table in the same manner that you did with Lisa Kendrick. She set that up. She set precedent. So therefore, she's got a prescribed manner. It was that important. Then the public needs to know the discussion must take place in public, and then the action. She said, oh, we already took care of it. What do you mean we took care of it? I don't know what you did. No one knows what she did. Bring it out in the open. This gentleman, I don't know him, but he's been wrong through the whatever. I read that article. That's inappropriate for you to say anything like that. I know a lot of things were said about me. I ain't go after people. Thank you, folks.
Can I have a motion to approve the city commission meeting minutes of February 17th, 2022?
So moved. Support.
We have a motion to support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We have the departmental activity reports. We've got the Marine City Area Fire Authority Run Report, Planning Commission meeting minutes of December 13th, 2021. We have the Community and Economic Development meeting minutes, January 26th, 2022. We have the City-Owned Property Work Group meeting minutes from February 9th, 2022. The City-Owned Property Work Group meeting minutes of February 24, 2022. And the Community Foundation communication. So can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda, letters A through G.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Callahan?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes.
Mayor Verkaman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to financial business, we have expenditures including payroll for $676,124.52. Can I have a motion to approve expenditures?
Make a motion to approve expenditures, including payroll for $676,124.52.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any questions on financial business?
Yep, not necessarily a question, but a comment. I see, for the month of January, we're paying UHY $21,000. So in December and January, we've paid them close to $37,000 to do the treasurer's job. We still have not gotten a report from them, which we were required to get. So I'd like copies of all the invoices from UHY, either paid or unpaid, so that I can see what we're doing here. But I'm concerned at the amount of money that we're expending for this versus a person. So if I could get that.
Commissioner, you have all the invoices. Each of those invoices has come to you. We've had one in November, December, and then January,
Don't they give you,
February.
don't they give you an invoice with a breakdown of what they're charging you for? They should.
It should be the hourly. They've done that with us, but you've seen everything I have. I know how many hours they're here because they're in the office with us. But I don't disagree. It's expensive. We said it was going to be expensive. The January one was the bulk of it because they were trying to wrap up all the bank reconciliations. They were trying to go in and fix everything in payroll after the first of the year when everything didn't carry over from 2021 into 2022. They have spent ungodly amount of hours here getting everything in order. And not to mention now they are helping to do the budget with me. So yes, I don't disagree. It's expensive, but we knew it was going to be. I've been moving as quickly as I can on filling the treasurer position, so.
But aren't you supposed to do the budget?
Not by myself.
Well,
I'm not the treasurer.
but our prior city managers mainly did the budget as far as inputting with your department head.
I would disagree with that. I can sit down and have sat down with each one of my department heads, taken their recommendations. UHY has pulled a BS&A report for me,
Okay.
imported it into an Excel spreadsheet for me to work on and fill in everything else. I have spent ungodly hours filling that in. There is a lot that I cannot do. So now I'm sitting back with them and we're inputting things back into BS&A. I can only do so much. I am not a treasurer. I have never pretended to be a treasurer. I can work on a budget till the day is long, but I can't produce what you're looking at right here. That's a treasurer's job. So I'm busy trying to find one.
All right, well, I'd like to see their actual invoices though, not just this. I'd like to see the actual invoice they submit.
I will ask them to go back and give me something that shows the hourly breakdown, but you've seen what I've seen on that. And then the reports that you're talking about, they're producing the monthly reports that are now accurate. That's what I thought you were looking for. The
No.
monthly financials that are now accurate are what I was bringing to you.
No, we were gonna get a report on what they were doing for us and what they were looking at, and because they claimed, everybody claimed there were so many problems within the department, I know you asked, Commissioner Clausen here did ask, you promised us a weekly or some type of report on a regular basis. It even says in their contract, I believe, that they're supposed to give us something, and yet we've got nothing, so.
Oh, I apologize. I thought it was just getting you the proper financials every month were the reports you wanted.
No.
I can ask Denise to put a list together of everything they've done. I'd be happy to, actually.
Okay.
I have something when I asked about the building inspector's hours here. Is that just office hours here, or I believe his, unless I'm wrong, his contract also included a percentage of the permit?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any breakdowns of any permits on here. This is just 95, looks like 95 hours for 228 to 315 for $4,000, $4,907.85. Is that just office hours? Or does it include any of the
Bill, are you
other
looking at the
breakdown?
monthly report, or are you looking in the financials?
I'm looking in the
The
finance.
building report? Are you looking at 7A?
He's on page 48.
Okay, in there.
Page 48.
Yes, so go to the building report.
If you look at 7A, he details,
Yeah, it's broken
Well,
out in there.
I looked at the building report, and the building report just gives me the total cost of the permit, not how much he's getting.
I don't know what his percentage is on his contract.
I don't know off the top of my head what the
You
percentage is.
look at his,
Yes, he
look
pulled
at
the
his
percentage.
contract and see what it says.
Is it 75? 75%.
Yeah, but that's what I'm supposed to figure, the 75% of those permits that he's gonna get. When's he gonna get them? When they're final, at the time that they're.
Final.
If you remember, Bill, Madam Mayor, may I speak?
You may.
Thank you. If you remember, Bill, I brought in a memo that outlined this contract, and you guys were wondering why I did that. Because I know there's been a lot of questions, but, Bill, you might be able to help me with this. You get, the permit matures at some point, right? Or that's when he gets paid?
It's good for 180 days, but the building official can give numeral extensions on it if he wants.
But the way he's been taking it is, and I don't know the wording, Bill, you're gonna have to, there's a point when a permit is done or closed out or whatever, that's when he takes his 75% of the permit fee. So it could be he waits 2 years on a permit. It could be it's 6 months.
But
then-
shouldn't we have a breakdown of that?
Yeah, we could, and then, you should, and then what else he has is then, as I explained, he has, office hours that are not related to the permit side of things, they're related to the zoning side of the business. And we have a contract with him that says he has up to 10 hours per week at, I wanna say $38 an hour. And can only go past 10 hours a week with permission from the city manager.
I got a call from a resident that was asking me about, he went in on a Tuesday or Monday, and the building inspector wasn't gonna be back until Thursday. That's the next time he can see him, so that's 2 days a week?
Yes, he's in on Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons.
Or more if there are zoning issues that require office hours.
Well, I'd just like to see a breakdown on that.
So, Bill, you want to see it distinguished between the office hours related to zoning versus the permit fees?
Right.
Okay.
Anyone else? Questions for the expenditures? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hendrick,
No.
Commissioner Callahan,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Mayor Verkaman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Preliminary financial statements. I need a motion just to receive and file.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion on preliminary financial statements? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Moving on to unfinished business, we have zoning map updates. Obviously, this is still at planning, so we need a motion to approve expenditures of $1,250 to update the maps.
No, you don't need to.
No.
We're gonna hold off until planning does it. Planning did not vote on this yet. We thought we would
Okay.
do it on Monday, but it's still at planning, so you don't need to vote on anything tonight. Merely just, we are looking into these updates. It'll
All
get
right.
to you as soon as they vote it
Okay.
out.
All right. Moving on to new business, we have a library board appointment. I just need a motion to appoint Linda Wilson to the library board.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Linda Wilson to the library board.
Support.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Planning Commission annual report. I just need a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Wait, can we discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry, discussion. Yes, I'm sorry.
So one of the things this contained was the removal of properties and the approval of the master plan. And we'd brought into the historical commission meeting that it was not quite finished yet, but as it turns out, it looks like it was finished. So I just would like to bring up that I am not for that, going forward if it removes the park from the 300 Broadway property.
Just that one.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I personally cite as, with the historical commission having brought up a pretty big body of evidence to the contrary, that it's one of the first public parks, that, really should belong to the city. That's the only area where I would like to voice my concern.
So you don't want that particular park removed from the master plan?
Yes, that would be my
Okay, I get it.
issue. I'm one of, only one.
No,
but-
I know. I just wanna- Yeah, I understand.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to the election commission, we need to appoint city commission representative. And this is a little side note, that the motion to appoint, you must be available to attend a meeting between March 24 and April 12th. So if you're on vacation or something, don't apply, but,
Takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it takes 5
The
minutes.
meeting is
Yes,
about 12
it's,
minutes
it's
long.
very quick.
And I don't believe you can be
On
the
the ballot.
representative if you were running.
That's correct.
Yes, that too.
For this election, it would be okay, but yeah, if we had anything on the primary, and definitely in November,
Okay.
could not be a candidate.
Would anyone like to be on the election commission? For a rep for the election commission?
I do usually bring pizza to that 12-minute meeting.
Well,
No, I'm serious. I
And
do.
the other requirement would be for them, if they could make it, it is strongly advisable to attend our public accuracy test,
Yeah.
which is usually right before the election, the May 3rd election, and that just takes 20 minutes or so.
We scheduled the meeting on your regular meeting night. We just come a little early.
We can't actually do that this year
Oh, that's true.
because of the time period and only having one commission meeting.
That's true.
Hmm.
So much for my pizza.
more of a commitment. Anyone?
I can't commit.
I can take it. I've done it before. Yep,
Thanks, Lisa.
there you go.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, so.
We need a motion then.
We need a motion to appoint Commissioner Hendrick to the election commission.
So moved.
representative.
Support?
And we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to items removed from the consent agenda. We don't have any. City managers report.
All right. You can
How many,
see,
how many pages is it now?
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. But there's a lot of things that are, I mean, hence the short or agenda tonight is we're really just in the middle of a lot of different things right now. A lot of balls in the air, a lot of different things that we're working on. But all really positive stuff. Ordinances taking us in the right direction, work groups for the properties, working on redevelopment ready stuff with MEDC. I've met with the EDA, the Community Foundation, some county reps on some different things to get us back in the game when it comes to funding opportunities, whether it's grant money for Parks and Rec stuff, whether it's road money, whatever it is. Marine City's really kind of been absent from the table for a while, and so I've met with all these folks to make sure that we're back in the game, and they know that we're ready to pounce. So in saying that, Mike and I've met with PCE on some stuff too to get, you know, road projects teed up, proper quotes ready with current numbers, things like that. So when these opportunities arise, we're ready to raise our hand at the table and get the money because we're prepared. So there's just a lot of pre-planning going on behind the scenes right now that's keeping us busy. And then, of course, mostly right now is budget work. I mean, hours and hours and hours are being spent on it, both here at home, wherever it needs to be happening. But I'm doing the revamp of the fee schedule. There's going to be a bunch of fee schedule increases that haven't been done in a long time, just with the cost of living and cost of prices, and there needs to be some changes. As well as the wage sheet, we need to get a little bit more with the times and what we're, you know, our wage brackets are to be more appealing. And then the budget itself. So Denise from UHY and I have made great headway. We are working on the amendment portion of it right now. Just to give you a small picture, we have over $800,000 in amendments we have to do. If that gives you a teeny bit of what we're doing. Money allocated in the wrong line items, projects misallocated to wrong departments. All of this is behind the scenes work that is more than a spreadsheet. It's journal entries. It's understanding why money is being moved, how we mark it properly, talking to Curtis to make sure we're moving it through the right channels the right way. And that's just what we've gotten through today, over 800,000 in amendments. So that's where we're focused on right now. The projections for next year will be a little bit easier to plug in. The amendments are always the hardest because we're trying to predict what we're going to spend through June 30, and we've just really got our budget to numbers that are correct now. So it's been a heavy lift, I'm not going to lie. It's been a really heavy lift, and I'm grateful that even though they are expensive, I couldn't do it without UHY. Denise and Yusuf have been phenomenal. And I applaud their work and everything they've done to help us. So, but in saying that, the treasurer's position has come along good. I do have a candidate that an offer has been made to. We've gone back and forth on contract negotiations, which we've ultimately come to agreement on. I'm working on trying to get a background check happening. And once we have all of that fun stuff in order and everything is cleaned up and looks good, we'll bring it to you guys. I'll bring my recommendation to you guys for your consideration on it. The only thing...
This treasurer will be bonded.
Yeah, we're going to bond this treasurer. And this, like I said, this treasurer is going through a background check, and that's actually been part of my problem too, is finding people to call us back on doing background checks. But I want to make sure that that's done. The only thing I wanted to point out on the manager's report that I did work on till the very end, but I've pulled off the table is the option to move the taxes to the county. Unfortunately, disappointing on the county's end, they came back with a ridiculous cost for us. It was more, I was kind of sold on the bill of goods. It would be more of a shared role with other municipalities and the county, and it wasn't. So we're gonna pull that off and keep that here in-house. So UHY is confident in being able to teach the treasurer this piece if they're not familiar with it. And of course, Curtis is always amazing at helping us with some things, so. I think those are the big ones.
You think they have quoted that ridiculous price because they're shorthanded and they just don't want the workload?
It could be. It could be.
It wasn't just a little more than you
It was
might
a
have
lot more.
expected. It was a lot more than
Yeah.
we expected.
Yeah.
And I think it is resources.
Yeah, which is,
Probably.
that's very unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I'm hearing that in so many industries.
Well, we were excited thinking that was an opportunity for the community because it takes a lift off of the office. It's kind of actually a big issue.
Yeah.
But it's really not worth your money. It's really, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have one question. Can you talk to us about the 26-mile corridor? What the plans are with that? Because
Sure.
I'm hearing that it's going to be a thoroughfare.
Eventually, that's the hope. I mean, it's long-range goals, of course, but yes, the idea is eventually that 26 mile is more of a 23 mile with big industry. They're not talking small parcels of land with little strip malls on it, anything like that. They're talking large parcels of land with major industry bringing jobs to the area. The EDA and the Community Foundation and the county commissioners have been, they're basically battling to try to keep the workforce in St. Clair County. They don't want people that live in St. Clair County to have to drive to Oakland and Macomb. They want to keep them home. So they want to create more jobs up here and expand our business. So it is moving along. We have basically a monthly meeting right now, and it's in a phase where Wade Trim is doing a deep dive into the details. They're looking at the different sizes of all the parcels, who owns what, road safety studies. They have all of their engineers broke out into groups to start analyzing it, and that piece of it in itself is about a year-long process where they start figuring out everything. Certain engineers will start reaching out to the communities that have infrastructure that, can be tapped into. Like, we will be approached on that piece of it. We've already been asked to kind of get our ducks in a row so that we can present that material, because they're gonna look at us as an infrastructure opportunity for sewer. So, East China is tapped out really in their capacity, and we are not. So what can we provide to the area, and what resources could we even use to expand our capabilities? So there may be money in upgrading our facilities. So there's a big seat at the table for Marine City at this, which is exciting.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're
you
also
said-
talking about splitting that between New Baltimore and some other plan up this way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's lots.
I'm
of
on the
lots.
committee for that, so.
Yeah, there's a lot, yeah.
And you had mentioned that it was, long-term, but 4 years?
The money that they're trying to spend, the federal money that's come down, they are supposed to spend in 4 years.
Yeah.
But with the grandness of this project, it wouldn't really take that long to spend the money once they get things in order. And I couldn't tell you how much of it's even going towards the engineering fees and things like that. But yes, it's a long-term goal to actually fill all the parcels with this concept. But short-term range in getting, I think, everything set up. So it's positive stuff for the area.
I have a question for the city manager. Yeah, we're
ahead.
done with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We have an infrastructure committee. We haven't had a meeting. And I see that you were talking to Mike about our streets. We voted to do 2 streets a year and bring it to the committee and pick out 2 streets and approve those and bring it to the council.
So I'll be honest with you, until a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even know we had an infrastructure committee, in all due respect.
Well,
So what I asked for was, last year, the city applied to a CDBG grant, which was specifically for roads, and I believe there was 5 or 6 roads that were picked out, quoted by PCE, and teed up for that grant. So what we've done is just ask PCE right now re-quote those numbers, since we know everything's more expensive, so that we have that piece sitting here teed up if I have another meeting at the county to go and we have the opportunity to do some. Because they've already been roads that you guys have seen and discussed. So it's nothing new that's come out of left field.
Yeah, but I know that we brought that up at a meeting, and they were talking about setting a new committee, and the board said, no, keep the same committee.
Yeah, they did.
So it has been brought up before.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else for the city manager? I will tell you, I like your lists. They're very thorough.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Can we, I know we asked because we do the workshops, can we get the budget meetings videotaped? I think that's important for the community.
I can ask. It's all about availability for the Channel 6 guys.
Okay.
And that's been the hard part, is getting them here on the days that we do it, because remember, Channel 6, most of them have day jobs, and then they schedule in all the cities and the commission meetings and everything. It's all scheduled out. So when we jam something in, they do their darndest to get to us. So I can't guarantee it. And then the secondary piece to that is when they air. And I've heard some complaints about when the work groups air. Again, commission meetings come first. Those schedules are already made. So Paul does his best to jam those in when there's free time in between the commission meetings that are already preset. So probably, it's just, I don't know when they would air, and we have to ask.
And maybe we can try to work on getting people in the community to do this for us, since we have the equipment now. I mean, we can do that too. Anybody's allowed to videotape or whatever, so it wouldn't be, if we can find somebody in the community that's willing to do it, we can do it that way also and put them on ourselves. It's not a requirement that we always have to go through Paul. I used to put the meetings on years ago, before they even started doing it, and that's the whole thing with the Channel 6 page. It's for the community. So now that we have fixed all the equipment and stuff in here, maybe that's something we ought to look into, to see if we can get more people interested in the community to do more meetings. And get them
Somebody wants to come in, I mean, I just want to make sure if they're touching, our very expensive
That's the
equipment, they're trained in how to do so. Otherwise, they're welcome to use their phones or whatever like that and do it. But, I mean, the city's paid a lot of money for that stuff, and so we have to tread lightly with that piece of it, but.
It's not a difficult thing. It's just a program and I used to do it and I wasn't that big in it either, but I just think it's important that we can get on as much as we can for the public.
Anyone else for city manager? Okay, moving on to the commissioner privilege. Commissioner Bryson.
Oh, I'd say first and foremost, Chris, thank you for all of your service. You will be missed.
Thank you, Jay.
So, thank you. And then, other than that, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. Please go out and have fun, but please do so responsibly. We have a wonderful police department, but I don't want anyone to be their overnight guest. So, that's all I have.
Commissioner Hendricks.
I wish Chris also a happy retirement.
Thank you.
You'll love it. You won't miss it. Trust me, you won't miss work. So, we did have a fire authority meeting last night. We went over some of our budget items. One of the things that eventually is going to hit, like all communities, is trying to get more paid fire department people. You deal with the volunteers, and it's not like the old days where we used to have a lot of the guys worked in town. Most of them worked for the DPW at the time. But it's getting more and more critical that we're all going to have to start looking at probably hiring more full-time firefighters in these departments. And so that's going to be a big thing, not this coming year, but the year after. We're going to have to start looking into it. So that was one of the bigger things. They're also looking at, hopefully, Coast Guard might be selling some equipment, and we might be able to pick it up cheap, so get them a better boat maybe. So we're looking into that, but other than that, that's all I got.
Commissioner Callahan.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks and good luck to Chris.
Thank you.
And just pass some advice along. no matter what anybody asks you to do to come back, don't.
Just carry
In any
on,
way,
right?
shape, or
Just say
form.
no.
Just say no.
Yes.
But also, I do want to, of course, I want to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day, but mark your calendars, June 24th. Is that the date, Splash Bash? Yes, okay, thank you. And I'm on the committee, I should remember that. Yeah, the Marine City Area Chamber of Commerce, we're running our summer Splash Bash down at Nautical Mile Park on June 24th. We're still hammering out all the details, so we're just now in the planning stages of it, but, we're gonna be looking at, it's, music, fishing tournaments for the kids, hopefully, and that kind of thing, and food, and just fun and vendors, so it'll be a nice day on Saturday, as long as the weather stays away. The weather kind of scared us away last year, so, because we did have it last year, but most of it got canceled. So this year, we're ready to go, and we're looking forward to it, so.
Is there gonna be that cash raffle?
Yes.
How much was that?
Yeah.
It was $30,000, right? So tickets are, refresh my memory, $100 ticket, we only sell 300, and then
And then you have one $10,000 winner.
one $10,000 winner,
And
five $1,000 winners.
And we did it in conjunction with the
Chance to win.
Community Economic Development Board, and we're able to raise money for your board and also for the chamber.
Right,
So we
Yeah.
hope for that, it's gonna go before your board, I think,
yeah.
next week.
And all tickets were sold,
Yes.
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 Yes, but, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good thing. Commissioner Clausen?
Yep, thanks, Chris, for your time, energy. The planning commission met and we discussed the maps, which you already probably heard. And we found out that the big maps that they got from the county really don't match ours. So, and, and so we're trying to straighten that stuff out and look at what's there, so. And that's it, have a safe night.
Yeah.
Commissioner Ross?
Yep. I'd also like to say thank you to Chris. You're the only clerk I've known, and it's been a pleasure to serve with you. Just wanted to remind everybody that this coming Monday, the 21st, is our next property work group meeting. And again, I'd like to reemphasize, and this has been posted on the city's Facebook page, but what do you as the community feel is needed in terms of a community center that would best serve Marine City? I'd like to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day as well, and I, for one, really enjoyed this beautiful day. It was gorgeous out.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, I did another segment of the Mayor Minute last week, and I interviewed Justin Westmiller. He is the Director of Emergency Management for St. Clairs County. We discussed many ways to be safe during a variety of emergencies. The reason why I bring that up is because we're coming into, spring weather season, tumultuous weather, and plus everything else that's happening in our world. So if you watch the interview, he talks about different ways to be safe during different emergencies, and also, more importantly, what to have at home in case of a variety of emergencies. We always say, darn it, where's those candles when the power goes out? Or I wish I had more water, or food, food that keeps if you have no power and that kind of stuff. So anyway, you can view that on Channel 6. Also, I wanted to talk very briefly about a podcast that I had watched, or actually listened to, with comedian Kevin Hart. Actually, I just found out he's coming into town to do a show. He's very funny. And one of the things that he talked about that really resonated with me is he talked about the power of positivity. And he talked about that he truly does not let negativity get into his life. He says he surrounds himself with a bubble. He said positivity is his kryptonite. And he truly makes sure that people around him are happy. When we're walking the streets on these beautiful days, don't walk with your head down, walk with your head up and say hello to your neighbors. That kind of stuff. He said he surrounds himself with a force field of happiness. So I just want to make sure that, we're all careful of who we listen to and with negative, you don't want to let those negative people come into your world too much. And I also want to give major kudos to City Manager Tapman, who's working on many, many projects, as you can see by the city manager's report. Her door is always open. She gives great advice. She's always very receptive to ideas, and I think that we picked the perfect person for our community. I want to share a few positive things that we are working on. The Marina project is coming along just fine. I don't know if you've seen it, but you have a celebrity in the audience. That would be me, in Crane's Business Magazine. Me and Jeff Bohm were, who's one of our county commissioners, we were interviewed by a reporter, a very interesting fellow that had worked for Cranes for a long, long time. And he interviewed us about the Marina project, so we took a picture down at the Marina site. So that's and I've had so many people, like friends that I haven't seen in 15 years. They're calling me, oh my God, was that you in Cranes? I'm like, was I thin? I think that was me. Anyway, we're working with the county on a variety of various projects, from funding on all different levels. We're showing developers vacant property for future use. We're enhancing our bike path to connect us with other communities. The kayak launch is going in soon, the minute the weather breaks. We're working on stronger ordinances to clean up our communities and make it look nicer. We have community-invited work groups that are formed that we're currently doing to bring ideas for resolutions for 2 of our city-owned properties. And I think that's a good thing. We really have, I don't remember ever having work groups. Did we ever have work groups in the past? So that's a good thing, because we are giving a voice to the public. And I'll be making regular updates to show that we are continuing to move forward in a positive direction. And last but not least, a warm farewell. I'm going to start crying. To my friend and my coworker, Chris Baxter. You were great. You were really, truly a great city clerk. I learned a ton from you, a ton. You kept me out of the trenches many, many times, and I do really appreciate that. Happy retirement. I'll be drinking a lot of wine this summer with you in the patio, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you for serving our community, because you really, truly did work tirelessly. There were many, many nights that you were here late, and especially during election time and that kind of stuff. And you've brought a ray of sunshine to our community, and we truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're
Can I
very
expound
welcome.
on that for a minute?
You may.
I wasn't going to say this, but I got a call from a reporter at the Times-Herald that I've always trusted in the past, and we were just having a conversation. She asked if Holly was there, and then she kind of started humming around about why I was leaving. And I said, I always plan to leave. I'm going to be 62, and I always plan that's my retirement. She was looking for a story. So when the story, I finally said, are you interviewing me? Because I was just speaking candidly. I'm friendly with her. And when the article came out, because she didn't get a story, she wanted to drum something up. She thought maybe that I was leaving due to all the problems that we've had recently. And I don't know if any of you saw the Times-Herald, but it said, I'm done. And the headline. What is it?
Had enough.
Had enough.
I've had enough.
I was sickened by that. I trusted her, and that's not what I said. I said, I've had enough meetings. I'm ready, looking forward to retirement. I've been going to meetings for years and years. My evenings are encompassed by meetings. I'm not leaving because I've had enough with the city. I've loved working for the city. I've loved my job. I'm proud of the job that I did, and I'm very thankful for the city employing me all these years at the police department and as a city clerk. And to see that on the front page and kind of give the message that I've had enough of you people, I'm leaving, that's not at all what I said to the reporter. I thought about calling her up and saying I want another article written. I was really upset about it because I try to be positive all the time, and that's the best part of my whole job is working with the people in Marine City. And I didn't want them to see that I'd had enough. So I just want to explain to you, that is not how I found out she was interviewing me, didn't even say she was interviewing me. And that's what came out in the paper, and it was really disappointing. So I've not had enough. I've had enough of my long hours, but I've not had enough of the people of Marine City. I live in Algonac. Marine City is also my hometown. I plan on doing community work in both cities, so I've not had enough. So thank you.
We
for-
appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
That's huge, because
And
it
I needed
really,
to say
it's all
that.
how you spin it. You know,
Ex-
she wanted to get somebody to read her article, so that's what she puts at the top.
It wasn't
right?
interesting enough that the clerk was just leaving after
Right.
a nice,
A run.
employment with the city. So just
Yeah.
wanted to make that clear. I've not had enough.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, the city commission is now going to enter into closed session to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute, MCL 15-268H Henry. There may or may not be any action taken upon returning to open session, so I need a motion to enter into closed session.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call vote. Do I gotta do a
you.
roll call vote to go into closed session?
Yes, we do. Commissioner
we do.
Callahan,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Mayor Verkaman.
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Motion carries.